Land of debris, a place that was once thriving, must come to an end. Level 207, Enter Debris. Meg Discovery Log. Date 4/17/2021. Recording device. Handheld transceiver. Entry point. Level 11, The Endless City. Explorer and Documenter. Malcolm Wells. Begin Log 1. Time 1:38 p.m. Malcolm. Alright, so, I've been tasked with exploring this new level. Papers can be heard shuffling. Malcolm. Ah, here we go, censored. They say it's some sort of fancy, luxurious restaurant complex. However, to get there, I have to go to level 86, Rivergate Tower, which shouldn't be too far from here. Malcolm remains silent for another 6 minutes before finally reaching his destination. Malcolm. Alright, I think I found the exit, but I should probably notify the Meg before I go in. Malcolm can be heard turning to the correct radio signal to contact the Meg. Malcolm. Hello, this is Malcolm Wells speaking. Do I have the right signal for the Meg? Meg operative. Yes, this is the Meg speaking. Have you found the entrance yet, Malcolm? Malcolm. Yes, I believe to have found the entry point to level 86. It is a tall, cylindrical building, correct? It's gray with some white lines circling. Meg operative. Yes, that sounds correct. Please enter to proceed. Malcolm. Alright, doing that now. The repeated twisting of a doorknob can be heard through the receiver. Malcolm. Is the entrance supposed to be locked? I didn't know buildings around here could even get locked. Meg operative. The door shouldn't be locked. Maybe you found the Malcolm. No, I think I can get the door to open. I learned how to remove door hinges a while ago. Shouldn't be too difficult. Malcolm spends the next 2 minutes attempting to unhinge the door with the screwdriver he presumably had in his bag beforehand. Malcolm. Okay, that didn't work. Meg operative. As I said, you most likely just found... Malcolm. Wait, I have one more idea. Malcolm pulls an object out from his bag, and the shattering of glass can be heard soon after, presumably from the glass door of the building. Malcolm. It worked! I should be able to enter level 86 now. I'll start another log when I get inside. End log. Begin log 2. Time 2:12 p.m. Malcolm. Alright, Malcolm speaking. I'm currently in level... No, this doesn't look right. Meg operative. You still have us. You said it doesn't look right, correct? Malcolm. Yeah, so, it's supposed to be modern and fancy, right? I'm in some sort of house, a bedroom to be exact, but it looks like a tornado came through it. Literally. There is debris everywhere, and the walls and ceiling are torn apart. Brief silence. Meg operative. You may have accidentally entered an entirely different level. Are you able to leave the bedroom? Malcolm. I think so. There's a hallway leading to the kitchen right about here, though it may be a bit tricky with all of this debris in the way. Malcolm struggles to traverse the house, as sharp, hazardous debris is scattered across the already torn floor. Malcolm. Alright, finally, I'm in the kitchen, and there's a window leading to a suburban neighborhood. Well, I say window, but it's just some massive hole in the wall. And Malcolm stares in awe for a moment. Malcolm. Here, I have a picture that should get the point across. Image caption. The picture sent via email. Meg operative. That's peculiar. You don't seem to have a reported level that fits your description. But, if you can, please explore further for data and research purposes. Malcolm. Yep, I'm already outside. The sky is very cloudy, and I think I'm alone. For now, at least. Of course, there's still debris and pieces of infrastructure scattered all over the place, which is probably going to become a problem at some point. Well, I'm going to start walking now, and hopefully I'll find something interesting. Meg operative. Very good. Please report anything you find. Malcolm. Will do. End log. Begin log 3. Time 2:47 p.m. Malcolm. Hello? I need to report something. Meg operative. Hello, Malcolm. What did you find? Malcolm. At first, I thought my mind was playing tricks on me. I spotted a few pigs in the distance, and I couldn't tell if it was fog or something. But they looked as if they had extra protruding limbs, spears, and random objects pierced right through them. A couple of them even seemed to be conjoined at the stomach. I crept a little closer, and then I realized that I wasn't imagining things. They were all mangled up with too many limbs or heads, flesh impaled by several large chunks of debris, and yet these horrible things were still alive. I don't know how, but that question isn't going to be answered anytime soon. Meg Operative. Well, that's bizarre. I don't know my entities very well, but I'm pretty sure that that hasn't been discovered before. Malcolm. I guess it's my lucky day, huh? I still want to get out of here, though. This place makes me feel kinda depressed in a way. Seeing what looks like a once populated area be turned into an empty wasteland does something to a person. Meg Operative. Understood. We have sent a team to help you, and they're on their way to the entry point. A loud, metallic crash is heard, with the shatter of glass sounding a mere split second after. Meg Operative. What was that? Malcolm is speechless for a moment. Malcolm. I was almost hit by flying debris. It hit a window right next to me. Meg Operative. That's concerning. Get out of there immediately. Malcolm. I think it's the wind. It's picking up the debris and throwing it at me. I'm running away as we. Malcolm falls to the ground with a heavy thud, letting out a curt cry of pain. Malcolm. One of the damn rocks hit me. I think I'll be fine, but it feels like a bit of my skull caved in. Ouch. Meg Operative. The search and rescue team will have medical supplies if needed. Are you okay? Malcolm. Yeah, I just said I think I'll be fine. I believe the winds are calming down a bit, so I'm probably not gonna get hit again. Meg Operative. That's good to hear. If you need to rest, you should do so. Malcolm. Yeah, I think I'll do that. End log. Survival difficulty. Class 5E. Environmental. Unsafe and unsecure. Environmental dangers. Low entity count. Level 207 takes the appearance of interconnecting U.S. states, all of which are buried in debris. Image caption. A neighborhood in level 207 covered in debris and rubble. Description. Level 207 is a presumably infinite, non-Euclidean level consisting of the 48 mainland U.S. states from the front rooms. As soon as one enters the level, they will be within the state that they used to reside in the front rooms. Footnote. It will place the U.S. individual to a random location inside their state, not in their hometown. End footnote. However, if the wanderer has never lived in the mainland U.S., they will be transported to a random state. A day-night cycle can be observed on this level. However, this cycle seems to change according to the time zones associated with their location in the front rooms. All of these states are joined together, forming a hazardous environment for one to traverse. Buildings and structures are commonly found on level 207, although most of them are destroyed due to natural disasters on the level. Many states can be seen merging with the geographic landscape of nearby states. It is highly advised to avoid occasional morphing landscapes, as finding oneself on an unstable patch of land can cause the individual to be trapped alive within the forming terrain. These landscapes often make for a confusing environment to explore after they have changed. In some cases, these states may even become unrecognizable due to the drastic formations of the terrain. It is thought that the environment shapes itself based on the memories of those who are currently within level 207. Towns and buildings specific to a person's memories often alter or replace notable landmarks, typically in an abrasive manner. For example, an explorer identified a building as their childhood home in the middle of an airplane runway, thus confirming that level 207 has no ocean. Footnote. This also means that Alaska and Hawaii do not exist in level 207, as there is no ocean or other body of water. End footnote. Due to the level making copies of itself related to one's memories. Most roads within level 207 appear to be damaged to a certain extent. These roads are to be avoided at all costs, as they will change texture, becoming dangerously rocky or bumpy. Wandering on these roads can cause more rubble to emerge from the road, penetrating anything above it, similar to spikes. Vehicles such as cars, bicycles, and trucks can be seen scattered along the streets of this level. These vehicles are typically found penetrated by splintered objects and in states of complete disaster, whereas some appear to be working or in pristine condition. The controls inside the vehicles here are similar to ones from the front rooms, although most are not from a recognizable brand. Footnote, meaning that most brand logos are damaged by splintered objects. End footnote. Disasters, such as tornadoes and thunderstorms, periodically occur on level 207. The majority of the debris here are from cities and neighborhoods, since the disasters appear to be drawn to them. Eventually, the areas that were damaged from disasters reassemble themselves in ways similar to how a plant grows. Multiple objects of all shapes and sizes can be dangerous to come across due to their damaged state, such as being very sharp or blunt. The air quality within level 207 is incredibly poor due to the level's frequent wildfires. Wanderers are strongly advised to avoid such instances of wildfires due to the large quantities of smoke produced. Unlike smoke emitted from fires in the front rooms, these harmful fumes contain substantial amounts of radiation, enough to cause fatal radiation sickness upon near contact. If inhaled, the abrasive particles carried by the smoke will tear the inner linings of the individual's respiratory system, resulting in an almost immediate and agonizing death. The sky of level 207 is known for its frequent and unpredictable weather patterns. It is constantly cloudy and pale, and can experience a range of precipitation, including hail, sleet, and monsoon rain. Even though the temperature on this level can vary, the level is constantly battered by cold, windy weather. Due to the gloomy environment present here, a sense of depression and eeriness is felt throughout the entire level. The sight of these ruins can be especially heartbreaking for wanderers who used to live in the US, as it can be a painful reminder of all that has been lost. Throughout the duration of the Wanderer's travels in level 207, they will only hear conventional sounds, such as the wind, vehicles, and entities. Additionally, Wanderers can hear internal noises, including their own speech, breathing, and heartbeat, but are unable to hear any external noises, such as their footsteps or any debris they move. This causes individuals to experience a sense of heightened paranoia and anxiety, due to the lack of interactive noise and access of internal bodily noise. Level 207's quote-unquote natural disasters. Level 207 is home to different types of disasters, all of which vary in duration, severity, and unique events. The strangest property of catastrophes is that they can often intertwine with one another, combining to create a horrific amalgamation of two or more disasters, such as fire whirls, electro debris, and many more, unleashing destruction and devastation to an unimaginable scale. The following shows a list of level 207's quote-unquote natural disasters. Disaster number 1, falling debris. Duration, 3 to 10 minutes. Falling debris is relatively common in rural and urban areas. This debris occurs when debris on the ground is picked up and suddenly thrown into the sky by strong winds. The debris that was lifted from its original place will fall back to the ground seconds later. Many wanderers have reported the airborne debris enlarging or decreasing in size, morphing into another damaged object, sharpening, and/or breaking apart into clusters of debris. It is currently unknown if they do this to themselves due to the amount of falling debris in the air. Disaster number 2, tornadoes. Duration, 15 to 50 minutes. The image 640 pixels Joplin _tornado _photo.jpg has been deleted. Image caption. A photo of the quote-unquote Joplin tornado in a rebuilt part of quote-unquote Oklahoma, presumably by a photographer who has since been declared dead. Tornadoes on level 207 are the second most common disaster. This tornado can take place anywhere in any state, and will usually occur in severe thunderstorms. These tornadoes can range from EF0 to an EF5, depending on which state the wanderer is in. For example, if the individual is in a tornado alley state, footnote, tornado alley states include Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, Indiana, Ohio, Missouri, Iowa, and South Dakota. However, some EF4 or EF5 tornado activity can occur in Louisiana and Illinois. End footnote. The tornadoes there will be an EF4 or EF5. However, if one is in a state that is not within Tornado Alley, the tornadoes there range below an EF4. No matter how strong or weak the tornado is, it can unleash a ravaging power that can send debris and sometimes even entire houses flying through the air, wreaking havoc and destruction to anything in its path. These tornadoes can appear out of nowhere and will target, pursue, and kill those who approach it too closely. Notable tornadoes from the front room's U.S. history, footnote, such as 2011, end footnote, can take the visual appearance of other tornadoes. The Joplin, Tri-State, El Reno, and many more infamous tornadoes have been seen in different states than their original ones. Footnote, meaning that the quote-unquote Joplin tornado can be seen in other states besides Missouri. End footnote. Disaster number 3, thunderstorms. Duration, 10 to 25 minutes. Thunderstorms are the most commonly experienced disaster on level 207. These disasters are always supercells. These merciless thunderstorms will strike anything they deem living. The process that it uses to determine whether an object is living or not has not been identified as of the creation of this article, but it is known that movement is a contributing factor. These thunderstorms, although anomalous, do behave like normal thunderstorms, similar to the ones experienced in the front rooms, as they are known to occasionally strike buildings, trees, and objects constructed out of metal. Anything they strike will instantaneously catch on fire, burning for a few minutes. Going outside during a thunderstorm is strictly not advised due to the high mortality rate. The living state of a wanderer will cause one to be struck by lightning, which leads to death in all cases. Disaster number 4, volcanoes. Duration, 45 minutes to 2 hours. Image caption, a close-up view of a volcanic eruption. Volcanoes on level 207 can be incredibly destructive and hazardous to the surrounding area. The intense heat and fire created by these disasters can cause vegetation to become volatile, leading to fires that can quickly spread and cause significant destruction. Volcanoes on this level can rapidly emerge from the surface and will stop at 10,000 feet tall and 10 to 50 miles wide across. Shortly after, they will then begin to erupt, usually spewing out hot, dangerous gases, ash, lava, and/or rocks that are incredibly destructive. Furthermore, these volcanoes can be seen spitting out chunks of lava-coated structures and debris. Before erupting, the rocky outer shell of the emerged volcanoes will rarely implode voluntarily onto themselves, revealing an internal magma chamber. The chamber will then spew out all the contained ash, debris, and lava, covering all land within 5 miles of its reach. After the chamber has been drained of its deadly contents, it will gradually sink back into the earth around it, returning to a dormant state. Disaster number 5, heat waves. Duration, 1 to 3 hours. Image caption, the first flames of random wildfires igniting at nighttime, indicating a heat wave. Heat waves are the 5th and final reported disaster on level 207. Heat waves on this level are rare, but due to their ability to cause instantaneous wildfires, they are the most harmful and feared disaster by far. When this disaster occurs, all buildings within one's area, footnote, half a mile, end footnote, will suddenly be engulfed in flames. The ambient temperature during this disaster can reach a scorching 46.7 degrees Celsius, footnote, 116.06 degrees Fahrenheit, end footnote, posing a health threat to any wanderers in the area. During a heat wave, wildfires may start small, but can rapidly grow in size and intensity, reaching heights of up to 10 stories or more. As the fire spreads, it can quickly consume large amounts of surrounding vegetation and other combustible materials, making it increasingly difficult to contain. It is strongly recommended to avoid entering buildings during a heat wave, as these events can cause significant damage inside the structure. Despite all of the attempts to put out these flames during a heat wave, including the application of cold fluids and other methods, the fire has persisted and refused to be extinguished. Entities. There have been reported sightings of a few entities during the day. However, most of them can be exclusively found at nighttime due to the level changing its day night cycle. The reason for this is currently unknown, but it is theorized that the entities occasionally wander to day or night states. Passive adult facelings can rarely be found during the day, usually inside vehicles or roaming around. At night, they are accompanied by more aggressive creatures, such as hounds and child facelings. Wildlife. Image caption. An artist's rendition of a mutated pig. The wildlife within level 207 is a truly remarkable sight. Creatures here have been mutated and deformed in unimaginable ways, with the bodies of multiple animals combined into one. Many of these strange creatures have sharp objects embedded in their bodies, yet their tough physiology still allows them to survive. During the day, these creatures may be harmless and will flee if they encounter a wanderer, but at night, their aggression increases drastically, and they will track down and attack any living thing in their vicinity for food. Despite their various shapes and sizes, many types of these animals have the ability to outrun a human being. Due to their superior speed and agility, these entities will often stalk their prey, carefully tracking and studying it before making a sudden and unexpected attack. This strategy is effective since it gives the predator the element of surprise, allowing it to catch its prey off guard and increase its chances of a successful hunt. Litterlings. Level 207 is home to entities known as litterlings. Litterlings are frequently found in areas that have large quantities of garbage. They hide in plain sight, waiting for an unlucky passerby. These entities are usually seen in their standby state. During this state, they can disguise themselves as any object/material. The objects used to construct the disguise commonly include damaged wood and plastic, but can also be other materials. If a wanderer happens to get too close, these entities will turn into their artificial state. When entering the artificial state, litterlings attract nearby materials, similar to a magnet. The drawn materials resemble the composition of the litterling's disguise in the standby state. Once these entities have gathered enough similar objects, they will start to gradually grow limbs with the pieces, transforming into an animated being. After a litterling has transformed, they will begin to chase the wanderer for an extended amount of time. It is advised to keep running in the opposite direction of a litterling, as they will slowly collapse back to their standby state. Unlike other entities, litterlings do not kill their victims. When a litterling has attacked or mauled an individual, they inject, footnote, through a bite, end footnote, a deadly substance known as lectica morbus, footnote, Latin for litter disease, end footnote. Once this substance has entered one's body or bloodstream, it begins a 5-step process. Show process. Lectica morbus transformation process. Stage 1. Time elapsed, 25 minutes. Effect. The infected wanderer will start to experience flu-like symptoms, including coughs, headaches, or sore throats. Small patches of skin from the individual may necrose and fall off. Cure. Almond water. Stage 2. Time elapsed, 1 hour. Effect. The individual will become dizzy and nauseous. They will occasionally attract nearby debris. Cure. Almond water. Stage 3. Time elapsed, 2 hours and 10 minutes. Effect. The individual starts to vomit violently. They will show signs of aggression and may try to harm any human they come across. Cure. Almond water. Stage 4. Time elapsed, 3 hours. Effect. The wanderer's limbs may start to fall or break apart from them, changing into a random material such as wood. Nearby debris will constantly attract to the infected individual, transforming them into a litterling. Cure. Non-applicable. Stage 5. Time elapsed, 4 hours. Effect. The infected wanderer has now been completely transformed into a litterling in their artificial state. Cure. Non-applicable. Bases, outposts, and communities. MEG, Major Explorer Group, Outpost Rec, consists of 4 members currently, resides in a rebuilt modern house, was made after an explorer/documenter perished within the level, helps wanderers who enter this level by providing food and water, sends updates about new discoveries, group status/stability, moderate. Footnote. This group is moderately stable, as they are trying their best to adapt to the level's conditions and environment. End footnote. Entrances and exits. Entrances. Entering this level is difficult, as the only reliable places to enter level 207 are levels that take place outside/outdoors. Footnote, such as levels 9, the suburbs, 10, the bumper crop, and or 11, the endless city. Occasionally, no clipping through large pieces of debris transports one to level 207. Another consistent way to enter is by breaking into a normally inaccessible, footnote, usually locked, end footnote, building in level 11, which can lead to a destroyed building on level 207. While wandering in level 10, the bumper crop, one may find a barn house that is unfinished and or in a state of decay. If entered, it leads to level 207. On level 9, the suburbs, one can find street signs that have the words "Keep Out" scratched on them. Continuing to follow these signs for approximately 3 miles leads to level 207. Exits. Image caption. The first quote-unquote New York exit discovered in level 207, indicating a transition to level 11, the endless city. Exits. To exit, one can travel 50 miles in any direction. After walking 50 miles, one may then see a sign that says, "Welcome to New York." Entering any of the ruined buildings found in quote-unquote New York leads to level 11. Footnote. The exit only works if the wanderer did not live in New York. End footnote. One can also find a house in perfect condition at nighttime. Entering it leads to level 9, the suburbs. Rarely, while wandering in level 207, one may find a building that has a significant degree of overgrowth. If entered, it leads to level 990, Overgrown City.